Welcome to the G-Spot, aka the gaslighting spot. This is a place where we talk about gaslighting, what is it, the effects, the thoughts, how you do it, because you have to visit the dark side every so often, and anything pretty much that has to do with gaslighting and how it affects your daily life. And today we're going to talk about why do people gaslight. Now, the literature out there talks a lot about the effects, the symptoms, how to deal with it, but I believe that we are also creatures of curiosity and that we must ask the question why in order to understand gaslighters and where this behavior is coming from. Now, this show is all about discovering your G-spot, aka gaslighting spot. Get your mind out of the gutter, whether it's in your relationships, your family, your workplace, and understanding how to deal with your G-spot, your gaslighting spot, effectively. So let's see who and why left the gaslight on. Let's start. So why do people gaslight? I do not believe that people are born gaslighters. Sociopaths, psychopaths, there is neurological evidence that some parts of their brain function differently than the average normal human, and you have some science behind it. Gaslighters, on the other side, that are not labeled as psychopaths or sociopaths are not born that way, not like extroverts and introverts. Rather, they become that way because of certain traits they have, or because of certain ways they were brought up. Signs of emotionally abusive parents is a lot of them. Before I continue, who the heck am I? My name's Olympia, and with my studies in cognitive neuroscience and art history, what I like to do, I like to dissect that pretty little brain of yours to see what makes you tick, but also makes you talk. So help a girl out by smashing that subscribe button and ringing that bell for your weekly Thursday videos. And let's see who and why left the gaslight on. So one reason people gaslight is because they feel insecure. Now, before you're thinking, duh, everyone has insecurities. These people will go to such lengths in order to avoid feeling, thinking, or even worse, exposing that insecurity, that they will take on tactics such as gaslighting in order to avoid this. Now, we all feel insecure about something, whether it's our body, the fact that we may not speak a second or third or fourth or sixth language, the fact that we may be really bad at math, I still count on my fingers, or if it's because, for example, we have abandonment issues, we have commitment issues. It could be that we're not good at talking or flirting with the other person, the fact that we may think that we're frauds in our job, all the very classic insecurities that many of us have. Or maybe it's just me. And but those kind of insecurities don't make us lash out on other humans constantly. They don't make up the fabric of who we are. Gaslighters will take that insecurity and create a whole structure of behaviors and attitudes and thoughts and emotions around this insecurity in order to protect themselves. So that's one of the reasons why people gaslight, is this deep sense of insecurity. Another reason why people gaslight is because they have almost a pathological fear of confrontation. Now, I say this again and again, our brains don't like to feel uncomfortable. That's why it's called the comfort zone, and stepping out of the comfort zone is freaking terrifying. But gaslighters have this psychological fear of confrontation in the sense that they will do anything to avoid it, using common gaslighting phrases such as "we've already talked about it," or "this never happened," or "you're overreacting," or "I never said that." All these phrases stem from this deep fear of having to confront the issue and having to admit, for example, they're in the wrong, or having to talk about their emotions. Many times people that have been gaslighted had gaslighting parents that gaslighted them. For me, gaslighting is a severe type of psychological abuse, emotional abuse. I've done a lot about the effects and what gaslighting is. I will link them below. So for me to say, even though many of you won't agree, that just like sexual abuse runs in a cycle, so does gaslight abuse. So many times you may have heard sexual abusers were sexually abused themselves in childhood. And I'm a firm believer that people that were gaslighted in childhood also become gaslighters. Or it could go the other way. They're attracted to people that gaslight them. But it's a defense mechanism. It's a way, especially if it stems from childhood, it's a way for them to preserve their emotions and their thoughts without having to explain themselves to anyone. So, insecurity, pathological fear of confrontation, and power thirsty. Gaslighters are all about power. They do not want to relinquish it. They do not want to show any weaknesses, hence this fear of showing their insecurities, and they crave power because power for them means control. And usually people that were gaslighted did not have control in their life. Whether they were physically, emotionally, sexually abused, they crave to be in control. And what better way to control a person than by making them doubt their reality, their thoughts, their emotions, and making that person be completely dependent on your own thoughts and emotions. It's kind of having like a little clone, but also having like a little robot that you can instruct them what to do. So when the gaslighter feels angry, you should feel bad. When the gaslighter is happy, you should be happy. So it's all about control for them. Now, for me, I know a lot of people get really angry with their gaslighters and they feel like they've been, they're a victim and life has wronged them. And they go into these cycles of either trying to defend the gaslighter, but then accusing the gaslighter and how they do not deserve this behavior. First of all, get the hell away. I mean, if you are in a relationship with a gaslighter, try and cut any ties you have with them. Nothing is worth your emotional well-being. But I find that the most liberating feeling is not actually anger, but feeling sorry for them. And if you show a gaslighter that you feel sorry for them, that hurts so much more than getting into, for example, this fight about how you're right and how you deserve more. You know you deserve more. And if the gaslighter will probably never admit that they're wrong, so they'll probably never admit that you deserve more. It's actually the other way around. They will think that they are the best thing that ever happened to you. So gaslighting is all about power. It's all about power play. And gaslighters don't really like to play with someone else. So it's kind of like they're playing with themselves. That sounded dirty, but hence the G-spot. So the other reason why people gaslight is because they want reassurance. So this goes into the insecurity part. Whether they went through trauma as a child or whether it's just part of their genetic makeup, they feel like they need to be reassured for everything. And they need to be validated for everything. So again, what better way to do that by creating like a mini clone where basically that person obeys your every wish and every command. If you are angry, if you call them out on something, you know that the person will feel sorry, will feel remorse, will actually try and make up for it, even though you, the gaslighter, were wrong and did something harmful in the first place. Another reason why people gaslight is because they want to feel needed. Now, this is a very human emotion. Most of us enter relationships because we want to feel needed. We want to feel that we have a purpose in life. We want to feel love, but we also want to give that love. And men especially, and this is not a sexist thing, it just has to do with how we are wired. So men are more physical creatures, women are more verbal creatures. Men feel empowered when they can do something for a girl. And that's why when it happens to be a gaslighter man, they want to feel that they are needed. They want to feel that the girl or their partner, they want to feel that they are saving that person, that that person needs them, that that person depends on them. But especially if that person did not feel that way in the first place, that they needed that person, they're going to do various gaslighting tactics, like I've talked in previous videos, to make them feel like they need to depend on them. That basically their whole life revolves around them. Now, I don't believe people are born gaslighters. I also don't believe that people are born evil. Maybe that's me being naive, but I believe that it's something that is nurture rather than nature. like Greeks say pan metron ariston, which means everything in moderation. There are obviously psychological disorders where they'll exhibit sociopath or psychopath traits. But I do not believe that people are born gaslighters. Here's the thing. Gaslighting is an effective tool. It works. So people that feel what I've described, insecure, need for power, reassurance, want to be needed, so basically all these work with gaslighting. They can fulfill every need with gaslighting. It's an effective tool. So is manslaughter if you want the person to stop existing. But hey, we don't live in that kind of society. I don't encourage that kind of society, obviously, but it is an effective tool. So another reason why people gaslight is because something happened in their life where they felt that they lost control, or they felt that they lost power. And this goes into the need, obviously, for control and power. So whether this came from a traumatic experience, whether this came from their parents, usually it stems from childhood, I believe, but somewhere along the line, they felt powerless and they were robbed of something. And they spend usually the rest of their lives, just because gaslighting becomes part of their genetic makeup. They're not born that way, but it becomes part of it, trying to make up for this lack of control. So these are the reasons why people gaslight. If you can think of other reasons, please leave a comment below, let me know. I always like learning about new things, expanding my thought process and everything like that. And of course, you guys give me ideas and basically tell me what you want from my videos. So, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and ring that bell for your weekly Thursday videos. Whoops. And of course, share this video with anyone who you think is gaslighting you. And that's it, folks.